Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, finally some good news as it relates to this whole situation between David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol. Now, earlier in the week, we heard that Turkey Ali Sheikh no longer had any interest in making the David Benavidez versus Dmitry Bivol fight, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, considering the fact that just, a few weeks ago, he was saying that that was something that he was interested in doing. Now, why? Yeah. Now, why he's no longer interested in doing it, I'm not quite sure. I have a feeling in terms of why he's not sure, but I don't have proof of this. And I think it's more than likely because, David Benavidez was not going to do business with Al Heyman. But that's really a wild guess. But I won't say wild, but I think it's just a guess. But anyway, it is being reported by the gentleman name. What is the gentleman's name? Is now we saw it on Ring. We saw it from Brunch Boxing. But what's the gentleman's name?
Julius Julianis.
Julius Julianis. He is a respected reporter who is saying that this fight is near finalization between PBC and Matchroom, and that we can expect this fight to occur in the summer. This is something that I think fight fans should be excited about. David Benavidez is finally getting this opportunity to face someone who has a big name that he can, again, continue to establish his legacy and who he is as a fighter. And this is one that I am acutely interested in seeing, Jay, in terms of what the outcome ultimately will be. So I want to get your thoughts on this. I know you the boxing technician, if you will. What are your thoughts on this fight, and are you excited about it?
I'm excited for it because David's been due for a chance. Couldn't get to Canelo because Canelo said no. So now he flew out to Saudi to watch Bivol Benavidez 2, watch that fight. I've been reading in the comment section on the Ring, people are talking about, well, that's messed up. They're not giving Benavidez a chance for the trilogy. Benavidez said he didn't want the rematch with Bivol. So that's that. Benavidez is also 40 years old. So we don't know what he wants to do, but this right here, they had pretty much WBC, Mauricio Suleiman had said, David gets the winner. The winner's going to fight David once David fought Morrell. The winner of David Benavidez and David Morrell was going to fight the winner of Benavidez and Bivol for undisputed. So now it looks like they might be doing their work. Interesting thing on this, though, like you said about Turkey. Turkey was like, just 2 days ago said, I'm no longer interested in Bivol Benavidez, and I will not bid on it. Okay, cool. So now we're seeing the promoters do what they do without Turkey. This is a fight a lot of people want to see. The best versus the best at 175, which is what we want to see. Matchroom and PBC doing this without Turkey. So this lets you know deals can't be made without him. They've been made without him beforehand. They've been made without him afterwards as well. And this is a clear sign of that. And I'm excited for this. I'm really happy for David to get this opportunity with Bivol. I think it's going to be a really good fight when that time comes. I just hope there's no pump fix with this where it's getting close and all of a sudden something happens out of nowhere and Turkey does some craziness with Bivol. Because Bivol was kind of like, he's just going to let it happen how it happens. He backed himself out of it. I don't blame him because he's on a payroll for people. So he has to do what's best for him. But I really hope he sticks with this and really hopes he pushes for this fight with Benavidez.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Seems like they're moving forward with it and finalizing it. And to the point that you're making, business can be done without it necessarily being tied to Turkey Ali Sheikh and whatever it is that he's doing. This is a fight that needs to happen. We've heard some people on our platform say that David Benavidez is not who many people say he is and many people think he is. And that comes from a certain contingent of fans that feel that as though, all PBC fighters are hype jobs, if you will. And I can't wait for David to get the opportunity. I think it's going to be a tough fight for David because of the style of Dmitry Bivol. I think Dmitry Bivol is a really good fighter. I can see where he could possibly give David some problems. I can see where David could potentially give him some problems. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. I'm glad that David, I'm glad to see this, honestly, because, we just had our live stream 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. So make sure you guys check us out. And there were many fans, much more than I had anticipated, that are somewhat resistant to Turkey Ali Sheikh having a monopoly on boxing. specifically a model that's structured similarly to what we saw or what we see in the UFC. So to see that promoters are still operating and they're working with each other, this may bring a lot of the promoters that have historically not worked well with each other together for them to make fights. Nothing like an external threat to force people together to actually make fights that make sense and to bring the fight and move the sport forward. So I am all for having more of a centralized type of fighting structure where we can get some of the best fights. I think it needs to have elements of boxing while also having a few elements of UFC, but an all UFC model for boxing, I just don't think it works. My personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but we will see. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
I agree with the elements of UFC because they have a lot of fights. So that element there with boxing as a whole, whether it's PBC, Matchroom, Queensberry, Top Ring, Golden Boy, just having a lot of fights, whether it's in-house fights or cross promotional fights, is great. That's because that's what we need for boxing. We need to have it back on the mainstream TV again to get those eyeballs on the fighters.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And we'll see what ends up happening. But anyway, you guys let us know what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Is this a fight that you all want to see? Are you somewhat happy to see that this fight is now going to occur? This is something that personally I'm ecstatic about, honestly, because I think that these are fights that need to happen. Again, I don't want to see. I don't want to see the demise of Top Rank. I don't want to see the demise of Golden Boy Promotions or PBC or Matchroom. Again, historically, these things have not operated as efficiently as they should have operated. But again, this extra, I can't even think of the word right now. I done lost my big word vocabulary right now. But anyway, this external threat will create. It may create a synergy in boxing where it moves the sport forward, and that's what we can hope for. And these two fighters can be the first step in doing so. And I think this will be a great fight. Personally, right now, I think David got his. I think with Dmitry Bivol's movement, I think he can give David Benavidez some problems, some real problems. So that's kind of where I am right now. I have to, again, go and watch the fights and then see how they all play out. But at the end of the day, I think there's a great possibility that this can be a very entertaining fight. And, David's going to have to bring his A game to win. So you guys let us know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast and Sports Media, and we are out.